Patil from Turbe MTS. Today we are going to deal with energy flow and ecosystem in an ecosystem part 3. Students, in our last class, we have studied about biogeochemical cycle, which means transfer of the nutrients from one the living organisms to the non-living factors and back from the non-living factor, that is the abiotic factor, to the biotic factors. We have seen the 4 spheres in the environment, that is atmosphere, which means air, lithosphere, which means soil or the earth crust, hydrosphere, which means water that covers the earth, and fourth, the biosphere, that is the living world or the living organisms. We have seen how they interact with each other via food chain, how plant absorbs solar energy and nutrients and water to prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis, and whatever food is prepared is utilized by themselves as well as passed on to the next trophic level, that is primary consumer, which are then eaten up by the secondary consumer, which are then eaten up by the tertiary consumer. After the death and decay of the tertiary consumer by the decomposers, all the nutrients return back to the environment. Now, talking about this biogeochemical cycle, we have studied 2 types, that is gaseous cycle and the sedimentary cycle. Gaseous cycle is the circulation of the gaseous elements, whereas sedimentary is the circulation of the elementary compounds. Now, we have also studied that these both are interlinked. Gaseous cycle cannot be completely separated by the sedimentary cycle. When we are going to discuss in our syllabus, we are going to discuss about the 3 major gases, that are carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen. If we talk about the concentration of these gases in the environment, it is fixed. That is, carbon dioxide is found about 0.03%, oxygen 20.9 or 21%, and nitrogen 78%. It is very essential to maintain this balance or equilibrium in the environment. If there is any problem in the equilibrium of these gases, it creates trouble to the environment and ultimately affects all the living organisms. So we are going to deal with the different cycles, especially carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen cycle in today's class. What is carbon cycle? Circulation and recycling of carbon from the atmosphere to living organisms, and after their death back to the environment, is known as carbon cycle. See, circulation and recycling of carbon from atmosphere to living organism, and after their death back to the atmosphere. This is known as carbon cycle. Abiotic carbon atoms are circulated and recycled into biotic, that is from non-living to living, through the process mainly photosynthesis and respiration. So these are the 2 major processes in carbon as well as in oxygen cycle also. Hence, carbon cycle is one of the important biogeochemical cycle. Now, discussing about the main processes of carbon cycle. First is photosynthesis. You can clearly see from the GIF that the sunlight or the solar energy is trapped by the green plants. Using carbon dioxide and water, sugar and oxygen is formed. So this is the reaction. 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O reacts in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to form starch, that is C6H12O6, 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen is liberated. So plants take in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. Second process in this is respiration. As I have said, plants make oxygen by utilizing carbon dioxide. This starch and oxygen is utilized by the other living organisms, including humans. Okay, so in mitochondria, this starch is broken down into carbon dioxide and water. So we all know when we breathe out, we give out carbon dioxide. All the organisms except plants give out carbon dioxide. That goes back to the plants, that is, it is absorbed by the plants for the process of photosynthesis. So in respiration, starch plus oxygen reacts in mitochondria to give out 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water, and ATP, energy, that is chemical form of energy. ATP is formed, which is utilized by all the organisms for their daily activities. Okay, so we all see that carbon and oxygen cycle are interlinked with each other. Oxygen is given out by the plant and carbon dioxide is given out by the animals. Carbon dioxide is utilized by the plant for the process of photosynthesis to form the starch, which is consumed by the other organisms to get energy, and hence carbon dioxide is released. Now this is how the living components or the biotic component release carbon dioxide in the air. Okay, now see, plants convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrate by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. And other carbon compounds like proteins and fats are also produced. Now, herbivore feeds upon the plant, carnivore feeds upon the herbivores. In this way, biotic carbon is transported from plants to herbivores, from herbivores to carnivores, and from carnivores to the apex consumer. This is how the cycle goes on. Then eventually, after the death of the apex consumer, or all the types of consumer, decomposers act upon it. Which are decomposers? Organisms like bacteria, fungi are the decomposers. So after the death of the apex consumer or the other consumers, or even the plants, they are decomposed by the bacteria and fungi, and carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. So see, one process was by the respiration of the organism, carbon dioxide is released. Second process is after decomposition. They are decomposed. After decomposition also, carbon dioxide is released into the environment. Similarly, in this way, carbon is continuously passed on from the living organisms to the other living organisms, and after their death, it goes back to the atmosphere. And again, it is taken up by the living organism. So this is a cycle. See, from the living organisms to other organism, after their death, carbon is going into atmosphere, and from atmosphere, it is again taken up by the living organism. So this is how the cycle goes on. Now let us understand this better by this cycle. See, Sun gives out solar energy. There is carbon dioxide present in the environment, which is absorbed by the plants. With the help of water, carbon dioxide, and solar energy, plants form starch, water, and oxygen by the process of photosynthesis. Oxygen and the starch or the food material is taken up by the animals. Animals carry out respiration. The starch is broken down into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. So energy is utilized by the animals, whereas carbon dioxide is released into the environment. Even after the death and decay of these organisms, the carbon is returned to the environment in the form of fossil fuels. This is utilized. Fossil fuels are utilized by the industries for the industrial process. After burning the fossil fuels or even the wood, carbon dioxide is also released. So this is the abiotic factor. Okay, that is through the machines, by burning the wood or by burning the fossil fuels, the carbon dioxide is released into the environment. So that is how the carbon cycle goes on. Carbon dioxide is released into the environment or atmosphere through abiotic processes like burning of fossil fuels, wood, forest fires, and also the volcanic activities. See, you can see fossil fuels are taken up by the industries. They are burned, due to which carbon is emitted. When we use vehicles, different mode of vehicles, carbon is released into the environment. Okay. Similarly, when there are volcanic eruptions, now this is the natural activity, natural phenomena. Forest fire, when the heat goes high, the plants, they get burned by rubbing each other. So forest fires, these are also the activities through which carbon get added into the environment. So through the natural processes as well as through the man-made processes, carbon dioxide is continuously added up into the air. Now, carbon cycle is very effective in temperate region. Now, why is it so? See, temperate region is characterized by moderate temperature. That is, the temperature is not too cold or not too hot. Hence, more life sustains in the temperate region. It is suitable for biological and biochemical processes. So, as more and more organisms are found in the temperate region, carbon cycle is more effective in the temperate zone. Okay. Even though the carbon content on Earth is constant, why is there a rise in temperature due to carbon dioxide? See, student, you must have heard about global warming. Temperature of the Earth is rising up every year. Glaciers are melting due to global warming. As I've shown you the pie chart in the starting, in where I showed you the carbon dioxide, concentration of carbon dioxide in the air or in the atmosphere is just 0.03%. When we say it is constant, then why is temperature of Earth rising? And why people are saying that it is due to carbon dioxide? Now, the reason behind this is greenhouse gas effect. Now, what is that? The carbon that is released in the environment, it get reacted with the other gases that are known as greenhouse gases. Okay. So after combining with the greenhouse gases, it forms a shield around the atmosphere. The gases along with carbon dioxide forms a shield around the Earth's atmosphere, due to which the heat is trapped within the environment, same as in the greenhouse. Okay. So, because of this trapped heat, the temperature of the Earth is increasing, what we called as global warming. So, actually, carbon dioxide alone is not responsible for the process of global warming, but combination of carbon dioxide with the other gases like methane, nitrogen oxide, and the other gases, it forms a covering or the envelope around the earth, which creates greenhouse effect, which leads into rise in the temperature of the earth everywhere every year, which we know as global warming. And we all know, due to this global warming, the climate is changing. Climate of the earth is changing, because of which different diseases are being introduced in the environment, and everything is, all the activities on the earth are getting affected. Next is oxygen cycle. I've shown you in the pie chart. Oxygen forms 21% of the atmosphere. It is present in hydrosphere, lithosphere, as well as biosphere. Now, in the lithosphere and hydrosphere, see water, H2O, molecular. If we split this molecule H2O, we have oxygen in the water. So it is present in lithosphere. Hydrosphere. Lithosphere, there are different compounds that are present in the soil. So oxygen is also present in the lithosphere. When we talk about the biosphere, we have talked about it. By the process of photosynthesis, plant releases oxygen. Okay, so that is how oxygen is present in the environment. Now, circulation and recycling of oxygen within this biosphere is called oxygen cycle. It includes both biotic as well as abiotic component. Oxygen is continuously produced as well as used up in the atmosphere. Now, unlike carbon dioxide, oxygen is highly reactive. It rapidly or readily reacts with other elements and compounds. See, it is never found in the single form. Okay, you will always get the combinations of the oxygen molecules with water, with carbon dioxide, or the other inorganic compound. Hence, when we talk about oxygen cycle, it is the extremely complex cycle in the environment. Oxygen is mainly released by the process of photosynthesis, whereas it is used up in processes like respiration, combustion, decomposition, corrosion, rusting. You all know, even for the process like burning, oxygen is essential. All right. So, for combustion, for the process of respiration, for the process of decomposition, and even for corrosion and rusting, oxygen plays very important role, as it is very reactive gas. As I said, oxygen is very reactive. It keeps on reacting. When three molecules of oxygen combine together, that is O3. Okay, when three molecules combine with each other, O3 is formed. This is known as ozone. There is a ozone layer around the earth. This is the ozone layer around the earth, which is very, very important. Now, why is it important? See, solar radiations not only contain the heat, but it also contains some harmful radiations which can cause cancer to the animals or humans, which will also increase the heat of the environment, okay, that are known as ultraviolet radiations. This ozone layer is very protective. Ozone layer that is formed by three molecules of oxygen. What does it do? It prevents the entry of harmful ultraviolet radiation, as you can see it over here. Harmful ultraviolet radiations are prevented from the entry into the Earth's environment. So it is protecting our Earth from the harmful radiations. Now, when we talk about respiration, there are some organisms who use, most of the organisms use oxygen for their process of respiration. Such organisms which use oxygen for respiration, they are known as aerobes or aerobic microorganisms. Similarly, there are some microorganisms which do not need oxygen, and they are called as anaerobic microorganisms. Okay, and oxygen is very important for the process of synthesis, that is formation of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Okay, so all these elements, actually carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, all these are very special elements and they are required at each and every level in the organism, might it be a living or non-living. Okay, so this was all about the oxygen cycle. Next we have nitrogen cycle. As I told you, nitrogen forms the major concentration in the air. It is around 78%. There is around 78% nitrogen in the atmosphere. And hence it is very essential to maintain the balance of this. Circulation and recycling of nitrogen gas into the form of different compounds through various biotic and abiotic processes in nature is called nitrogen cycle. Okay, you have to learn this definition. Now see, if you talk about this definition, these terms are common: circulation and recycling. In nitrogen cycle, you have to write nitrogen gas. In carbon cycle, you have to write carbon gas. In oxygen, you have to write oxygen. Okay. Into the form of different compounds through various biotic and abiotic processes in the nature is called nitrogen cycle. Now, why is nitrogen so essential? All organism participates in nitrogen cycle. It forms an important component of chlorophyll in the plant, chlorophyll which gives the green color to the plant, which is very essential for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so chlorophyll contains nitrogen. When we talk about DNA and RNA, that is nucleic acids of our body, which has the genetic material of all the organisms. So nitrogen is the backbone of the DNA or the nucleic acids. Similarly, nitrogen is a key component of amino acids, which forms different types of proteins, which are very essential for our day-to-day activities. Now, why do I say important for the day-to-day activities? All the enzymes, all the hormones in our body are nothing but proteins. You all know our muscles are also proteins. Okay, so without the enzymes and hormones, control and coordination of our body is not possible. If we are deficient in the proteins, our body will not function properly. Our muscles will become loose. So for the muscles, for even our hairs, our nails, everywhere we have proteins. So nitrogen is very, very important and it is needed to be circulated at regular basis. But even though nitrogen is very important for all the living organisms as it forms the key component of the essential structures, many organisms cannot utilize nitrogen in its natural form. Whatever is available in the free form, that nitrogen cannot be utilized. And hence, nitrogen cycle plays very important role in this. Now, how is this taking place? First process is nitrogen fixation. Atmospheric nitrogen, when there is lightning, the atmospheric nitrogen gets mixed. Okay. Now, there are certain bacteria in the soil, especially which are found in the root nodules of the plants. Now, root nodules can be seen mainly in the dicot plants. Okay. In dicot plants, the nitrogen fixing bacteria, they form nodules with the plant roots. This nitrogen fixing bacteria will convert nitrogen into the usable form, that is nitrates and nitrites. Okay, nitrates and nitrites, which is then utilized by the plants, for developing chlorophyll and the other proteins. Next process is ammonification. What is ammonification? Release of ammonia through decomposition of dead bodies and the excretory waste of the organism is known as ammonification. Okay. Again, nitrifying bacteria plays important role in this. Whatever the waste material of the living organism is there, or the dead bodies of the organism are there, they are decomposed and the ammonia is generated by their decomposition. Okay. Next is the process of nitrification. What is nitrification? Again, the ammonia cannot be utilized directly by the plants. So it is converted into nitrate and nitrites. Who does this? It is done by nitrogen fixing bacteria. Ammonia is converted into nitrite and nitrates, which is utilized by the plants for the process. Fourth step is denitrification. Now, what is denitrification? Conversion of nitrogen compounds into gaseous nitrogen, which goes back to the environment. Okay, that is known as denitrification. Again, for this process, there are different types of bacteria which are known as denitrification bacteria. Denitrification bacteria converts all the other forms of nitrogen into the, that is nitrate, nitrites, ammonia, into the nitrogen, which gets mixed into the environment. And this is how the cycle goes back. Okay. First is nitrogen fixation, where the nitrogen is converted into nitrites and nitrates through atmospheric or industrial process. Second is ammonification, where the dead and the excretory waste of the organism is decomposed by the decomposers and ammonia is released. Next, nitrification, where the nitrogen fixing bacteria converts ammonia or the nitrogen in the atmosphere into nitrates and nitrites, which are utilized by the plants for making their food. Then we have denitrifying bacteria, which will convert nitrate, nitrites, or ammonia, which is present in excess, into the atmospheric nitrogen, and that is how the nitrogen returns back. Okay, so these are the 4 important processes in the nitrogen cycle. So students, what we have learned today are the cycles of the gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen. We will revise it while discussing the questions that are asked on this topic. We'll get the detailed questions for 4 marks on this 3 to 4 marks, where you will be asked to explain the cycle with the help of suitable diagram. Okay, so you are also supposed to draw the diagram. These diagrams can also be asked for 2 marks separately, where either the diagrams will be provided and you will be asked to label the processes, and for 3 to 4 marks, you will get the detailed answer question where you have to draw the diagram as well as explain the cycle. So the first that we are going to discuss is carbon cycle. What is carbon cycle? Circulation and recycling of carbon from atmosphere to living organism, and after their death back to the atmosphere is called carbon cycle. How does it take place? First step, plant converts carbon dioxide into carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. Similarly, they produce carbon compounds like proteins and fats, etc. Third step, herbivores feed upon plants. Carnivore feeds upon herbivores. In this way, biotic carbon is transported from plants to herbivores, from herbivores to carnivores, and from carnivores to the apex consumer. After the death of these consumers, decomposition of the organism takes place with the help of bacteria and fungi, and thus carbon dioxide is released again into the atmosphere and used again by the living organism. In this way, carbon is continuously passed on from the living organisms to other living organisms, and after the death of living organism, carbon goes back. Next that we have studied is the nitrogen cycle. What is nitrogen cycle? Circulation and recycling of nitrogen gas into the form of different compounds through various biotic and abiotic processes in the nature is called nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle takes place mainly by the following 4 steps. First is nitrogen fixation, where the environmental nitrogen is fixed by the nitrogen fixing bacteria into nitrates and nitrites, which are utilized for industrial and biological processes. Second is ammonification. What is ammonification? After the death of the organism or the waste, excretory waste of the organism is converted into ammonia, which is utilized by the plants, or the excess is converted into nitrogen by the denitrification bacteria. Okay, What do they do? Denitrification bacteria converts nitrate, nitrites, ammonia into the atmospheric nitrogen, which is released back into the environment. Okay. Similarly, similar to the nitrogen fixation, you also have nitrification, in which the nitrifying bacteria convert ammonia into nitrite and nitrates. So these are the important steps in nitrogen cycle. That is nitrogen fixation, ammonification, nitrification, and denitrification. Talking about the third important cycle, that is oxygen cycle. What is oxygen cycle? Circulation of oxygen within this biosphere is known as oxygen cycle. Now, oxygen cycle cannot be separated from the other cycles. It is very complex cycle. Okay. It is connected with the carbon cycle. See, carbon dioxide is absorbed by the plant. Plant carried out photosynthesis and gives out oxygen. Oxygen is taken by the other organisms to carry out the process of respiration. In the respiration again, they form energy, and that is ATP and carbon dioxide and water molecule. The carbon dioxide by the process of respiration is returned back into the environment. Now, respiration is not the only process of utilizing the oxygen, but as I have told you, oxygen is highly reactive component in the environment. It keeps on reacting with the other elements. Okay, so you always found oxygen in the form of water like H2O, ozone layer, that is O3. Then you have nitrogen oxide and various combinations of the oxygen. Okay. Oxygen is constantly being used and created by different processes on planet Earth. All of these processes together make up oxygen cycle. Oxygen cycle is interconnected with the carbon cycle. If we take a simple example, oxygen cycle is shown below. You can see how oxygen is used and cycled by the plants and animals. Plants are the main creators of oxygen in the atmosphere through the process of photosynthesis. Here, the tree uses sunlight and carbon dioxide to produce energy and releases oxygen. Giraffe or the other animal breathe in oxygen and then breathes out carbon dioxide. The plant can then use this carbon dioxide and the cycle is complete. So you just have to draw plant which gives out oxygen, which is taken up by the other animal for respiration, and while respiration, carbon dioxide is given, which is taken up back by the plant. And this is how the oxygen cycle goes up. What is ozone layer? I have talked about ozone layer. It is a covering or a protective shield around the Earth atmosphere, which is formed by a combination of three molecules of oxygen, which protects the Earth from the ultraviolet radiations that are coming from the sun, which are very harmful for the environment or the living organisms on the Earth's surface. So, ozone layer protects the living organisms from the harmful ultraviolet radiation. Similarly, we have also talked about the greenhouse effect. why the temperature of the earth is rising constantly every year, even though if the carbon dioxide concentration is fixed in the environment. Now see, there are many factors reasonable for that. One is we are cutting down the plants, that is deforestation, because of which the amount of oxygen that is released by the plant is getting reduced. And we all know the plants are also the absorber of the carbon dioxide. So the rate of absorption is lowered. Secondly, whatever carbon dioxide is present in the environment, it is reacting with the other gases like nitrogen oxide or methane that is present in the environment due to the human activities. Now, this combination of all these gases form a covering layer around the earth and creates a greenhouse effect. Due to this greenhouse effect, heat is trapped within the environment. It does not go out. Because of this trapped heat, the temperature of the earth is increasing year by year. And hence we are facing the problems like global warming or the climate change. So this is all about the cycles. Thank you to listening to the lecture quietly. And I hope that you have taken screenshot of these answers. If not, please take it down. Take the screenshot so that you can complete these answers in your book. Oxygen cycle, you are also supposed to draw the cycle and write, describe it or explain it. Nitrogen cycle, discuss the 4 steps in nitrogen fixation or the nitrogen cycle. Just take the screenshot. And the carbon cycle. So this is all about this chapter. Today we have completed this chapter. Thank you very